let's continue this here. Okay, we have lost some aircraft, some tanks, some men, but we're doing pretty good. We are still pushing up deep. The Soviets still have, I think it's the 10th. Oh, we got action points. Okay, but we can't attack yet. So I think it is the 10th that we get to get the Finns in. We're going to let the 1745 as a history buff or just late on the name. Ah, it's a year, a specific year. I mean, obviously, but a thing happens that year. Execute air directives. Thanks, Beam Slam. In 1745, and we could say because it does happen in multiple countries, in Great Britain, something happens. And that is what the year date. And if I just said 45, people might wonder, am I that old? Is that World War II? Or is that like a 1911 pistol? You know, if I just said 45, so it's 17. Ah, yes. Jamnuska got it. Jacobites, exactly. The Scottish Jacobite risings of 1745. Okay, these guys are going to come up through here, just occupy this territory, deal with any problems or whatever there. You come here. I'm trying to get you to, well, you could maybe come there. Okay, no, not the best. I thought there were maybe some more units. Oh, there we are. Let's see if we can do deliberate attack here. Nope, not enough. We'll do it just a hasty attack there. $27.45. The no bites. I don't quite get that reference, if that's to some science fiction thing or whatever, or I'm not sure. Okay. So now we have this little bit of a pocket in here. Yeah. You moving up. Second tank division surrendered, which is good, instead of us having to, or having them, keep retreating. And oh, Hellraiser reference. Okay, I know the movie franchise, but I don't watch it. Meaning I know of it, but I'm not a horror movie fan. I guess is just the easiest way to say it. So I have not watched any of it. Maybe great horror movies, but horror movies are just not my thing. Infantry division and only the infantry division. Well, maybe I should think about making another pocket here with all of these, before I keep just pushing here without real concern. think just a hasty attack, but with both divisions. Yeah, I think we'll just... You can see these units, they're getting a bit exhausted here, tired. Okay, they routed, but we were a bit weaker than we should have been there. Okay, these guys are all strung out, but maybe I achieved my goal of cutting these off enough that they won't all be able to escape through that. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Who celebrate? Yes, Fontenoy, the French victory in 1744 that sort of allows the or is it? No, it's early. No, it's yeah, it's 17. I think it's 1744. It's just before the Jacobite Rising. Well, thank you, Claude. I do appreciate that. Not everyone likes my style of games and or my playing the way I play with lots and lots of history, blather blather blather. Oh, I don't want that selected, but I like it. That's why I've been playing war games since I was quite young, and a history nut. And that's sort of like Eric, but not. I don't find as many interesting people, but talk the ears off of anybody who is willing to listen about history. Okay, we're gonna blast across here. What do? Ooh. Okay. Well, let's keep concentrated. Where do we want to even go? Yeah, let's go deliberate attack. And if we're gonna attack, let's. I know it uses a lot of action points up, but it does push on the enemy significantly. Again, I'm trying to keep these guys from all just, and I don't know that I'm doing it well enough, from just all retreating to the north and becoming a problem later on. Yeah, I don't know that this is. It depends on how much, action points, movement, etc. It's going to be for them to push past. Okay, they just retreated out. Pick up these. Units here, and so and getting the rail links up here. Then the Jameses, yeah, absolutely. Tankcraft, yeah, Jacobus, Latin for James. As you can, presumably you can tell, I'm an American, though I did actually live for less than a year, about 6 months or so, in Scotland many, many years ago studying the Jacobites and the uprising and all that fun stuff. Okay, yeah, let's keep pushing this way. Who can play and talk at the same time? Mean saying so. Yeah, and very truthfully, guys, that's sort of why I picked this scenario that I think I said earlier. And we will in a moment look why this game has been being played today. But is that it's fairly. I'm not saying it's easy to take Leningrad or something like that, but I look sort of good playing this. But what I'm going to do now is go over this part of the notes for this game, and there's a new patch. Now I downloaded it and enabled the public beta. That you can do so. You just go in if you have how to do it is on the forum for Gary Grigsby, the Matrix forum for Gary Grigsby's War in the East. If you have it on Steam, and I think if you have the game, you buy it. So buy it at the best price you can find it, especially if it goes on sale. And another thing I want to point out, if you haven't already, please follow the channel here, because you can earn. They've reset them all, but you can earn sliths, and I think which you earn by just watching the channel. And you can return them in for free games and DLCs. And I know they were chatting about this a little bit earlier. You can, I think, War in the East 2 and or 1 are in the Slith store. So once you earn enough points, you can get those games. So you can potentially for free, but wherever you get it at the best price. But if you do buy it on Matrix's website, you can also get a Steam key if you want it in your Steam library for free. So, and you can you go in to get this beta. And again, I did this last week and got this enabled, so I'm not sure exactly the status of all of the patch and being released. The patch as a beta was released back on January 9th. I don't know if this is now put into the standard game, is sort of what I'm meaning. So if you wanted to try the better way, so get it at the best price. But I'm just going to read off some of the new features and look at some of the this long list of bugs fixed here. But just because that's part of why I get to play it and chat about history to you today, because the Matrix people wanted to make sure everyone, or as many people as could, know about that there is a new patch out, which could be a reason to come back to the game if you haven't. New game option: reduced retreat attrition. When enabled, routing units will suffer less retreat attrition than normal. The default is for it to be off. The value may not be changed once the scenario has begun in play by email or multiplayer games. So, I mean, I could, I guess, go in and change it now one way or the other for myself, because we're not playing either one of those. Another new game option: morale mod by country. This allows a value between 0 and 20 be set for each active country. The value is added to the ground national morale value for that country. The default is for these to be for all of these to be set to 0. This value may not be changed again during play by email and multiplayer games. So if you wanted to change, have high morale for the Germans later in the war, to see if that helps in defending against the German or the Soviet offensive and all of that. Okay, leaders in charge of air command HQs will no longer gain victories and defeats. Okay. In order to reduce failures when attempting to save multiplayer games, the amount of time has been increased for a save will time out with failure. So I guess waiting to get the information across the internet, they've increased that. There's a couple of manual corrections to the, There's a digital manual as well. I don't know if they're still printing up more of the hard copies. Okay, bug fixes and AI improvements. Units that are class mech infantry, ground elements of a type of mech infantry, cavalry, or several others, are firing in combat with 20% of their effectiveness is fixed. So that's been fixed. Routed units in a theater box will automatically unroute in logistics phase. Okay, so those are a couple of improvements. Okay, that device changes. And now, so these are all of the weapons types. And I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to go like the 50 millimeter Type 98 grenade launcher for Japanese. I don't know why that was there, but the 7.5 FM melee 24/29 AAMG. You know, okay. Again, this you can see why I'm not going to go for duplicates have been removed. And things like the Panzer 2F scrap value has changed from 44 to 45. I don't know exactly what that means. I mean, I know what the tank is, but and you can, if you're playing a campaign game, you can upgrade like a Panzer 3G to a Panzer 3F and whatnot. And again, I'm not going to read through all of these changes. There's a lot of detailed changes going through the various weapon types. Let's see, 2 new photos for ground elements added. Nice. Okay, 1941 campaign changes assigned non-PVO Soviet fighter AOGs and long-range air command bomber AOGs areas of operation. I don't know what AOG is. For ground support has been fixed, and so they've gone through and they're. They wanted us. That's sort of why I get to play this game and is highlight for you that they've gone through fixing things, improving things with the patches. So hopefully, with the AI and everything, it will be a better game. And I believe, again, I'm not absolutely sure. I believe the patch is free for everyone. But if you want this scenario and other scenarios, it is the Steel Inferno DLC that I'm playing. And what did Claude say? Well, I was like, don't hear anything. The stream was paused. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes there's a little buffering. I hope my end it's looking good. It's going out. Should have a patch on Steam. Yeah, change catalog can be dry and yeah. So yeah, and so if of course if any of these details matter to you, you can go read them all. Again, I'm here to entertain, not bore you. If you want to go read all the changes, you can over on the Matrix forum for War in the East 2. Yeah. So now I'm reading from the public beta version of what was out, as opposed to like I say, I'm not absolutely sure that this has been put out for every the standard version of the game without you enabling the beta. Trying to get close enough to here to supply these guys. Oh well, I guess I'm not getting close enough to supply those guys effectively, or whatever, however you want to say that. Okay. Well, maybe I should push up into Estonia. Well, the big fight was up here in Narva. Hmm. We do have to keep rail links in mind here. Well, if we come here, yeah, I think we'll push a bit more to the east with this. HQ. Move down the HQ to get, and also get this highlighted in the proper color. That one, of course, is red because it's way back behind us. Right. Okay. Well, that's going to take all of our movement points for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, maybe it's because it was taken this. I don't know. Let's see. Let's get you up to here. Some of this stuff better. We can see this unit from that core is lagging way behind, so we'll bring them up that way. And so at some point, we're going to have, I don't know why that's so hard. Oh, no, that means there's 15 left. Not that it's using 15. I should have. What we're doing here again is repairing the rails so that, well, yeah, we can maybe use this rail to, so that we get flow of supplies. Okay, yeah, a little bit haphazard, but fine. This, we don't have any action point controls over this or this unit. I believe the AI will be handling that. Yeah, I I know when I highlight this unit, it will give me this repair. I don't know if there's another button beam slam. I mean, there's a lot of buttons here. So if there's another one that, oh, maybe here, rail mode. Okay. Don't know if that's not giving me anything different. It doesn't look like. Press R. Okay, so we have green through some of these, red there, and yellow. Okay. But we don't, we have red there, bummer. But we have green up through to here, which is good. Green out to here. Right. Okay. Well, at least we have some. Thanks for that. Does make sense that it's R. Well, I think mostly we are, well, here. Okay. Oh. Where get out of that? Right. Uh, What status did I click on? Oh boy. Yes, we want the AI to manage the depots. Press the arrow. Ah, okay. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you get me to an unfamiliar screen, and I don't know what to do after that. Okay. No problem. You know, I could say this is a fun game for me. It's just one that takes a lot of time, and I just haven't put the effort into it to really get to know it well. Okay, I think we've moved up what we need to do. So let's end the turn. Okay, we should now, because that was the 6th. Now we're on the 13th, so I think it's the 10th that Finland gets to come in. So I think we get to do Finland this next turn. Okay, we lost some. Right. Raining in a lot of areas. All right, well. Do we have to declare war or something to get Finland in? Actually, because situation report turn. After Leningrad, right? Oh, well, we're still in the air phase. Yeah, right. Okay, that's why I'm not. That's why not. I'm not able to move the units because I'm impatient to move forward. But yes, we're in the air phase. But it is raining, so we will allow the AI to execute air directives, which I hope they're being smart and not crashing because of storms or whatever. I'm not going to bother reading that because I'm not paying attention there. All right, now I think we get to yes. Now we got Finland in the game. Yay! Well, let's see if we can. Okay, we are. Yep, we're going to do a deliberate attack up there. We've got the Hanko Fortress. Let's unselect that. Let's move the other one into occupy there. Let's move you this way. There we go. And hello, let's see, Sir Got Walter. Sir Walter? Sorry, not used to that name. Decisive campaigns, addendum offensive isn't the best game mechanic of all. Slithering game, I hope, is coming more games with this game mechanic. Well, there's a lot. They're developing a lot of games. Is the best, I guess, is the best game mechanic of all. Slithering, yeah. There's, I don't know if they're doing more. The Ardennes Offensive. The Ardennes Offensive is a very good game. I've played that a bunch. I really like that game. I'm not sure what they're working on developing. Okay, so now if we hold down this and we select all of these for deliberate attack from those 3 divisions, all here, boom, the Finns have attacked. Finns are attacking again. He is working on it. Oh, very good. Thanks, Scoot Toshard. I'm probably butchering that. Don't mean to. Very, very good. He's working on more. Moving through these swamps looks like to be, or forests, or whatever, slow business. So, a battalion surrenders. I want to, very much what I'm working on doing here is moving up along the railway so that we will have not just yet, but we might see about combining some of these units into larger formations. Looks like we have finished high command. Finished high, oh no, that's who's commanding. Okay, so the first of the 163rd and the second of the 163rd. See, we could maybe combine those if we want a stronger unit. It really would come down to how big the front line is. And do we want to have a longer front line or a more concentrated line? Well, we have some fortress units here that are rather weak, so I think we can do that. And more AA battalions are surrendering. Well, I don't know that we need to hold the coastline here. Or do we? I don't know. Let's at least move these guys up. Make the Soviet AI worry a little bit about their rear area. Ah, how interesting. Slavia. That is that where we saw somewhere here, I guess? There? Very interesting. Beam slam. Very, very. And hello, ZZ, if I don't think you've been. Panzer Corps 2 Pacific waiting. Yeah. As far as I know, Panzer Corps 2 the Pacific is not being worked on at the moment. So I'm not saying it's never going to come out. And I'm not going to get into, all I got really is sort of rumors, so that's why I'm not going to say, because whether because it's probably what I have is somewhat wrong, so I don't want to say. But there was some problem with the development studio, and that was working on that, because it was, to my understanding, it was a different development studio that was taking the Panzer Corps 2 engine compared to the one that's the development studio that's been developing all of the Axis Operation DLCs in the base game. A different studio was working on the Pacific, and there was a problem. Again, I just rumors. I, I so it could be just contractual or vision or whatever. But problem. So that is at least on hold. I don't know if the concept, of doing a Pacific or other game is dead. It just, I don't know that anything's being worked on now. So always wanted to visit a place, but it's on the wrong side of the fence. Yeah. Oh, I hear you there. And they're closing the fences from what I understand. But yeah, okay. So we are going to come up to here, and we're going to come to here to just get all of these. Got a depot captured. Ah, found a unit hiding here. And the 177th Rifle Division has surrendered. Well, good. Okay, so we're getting the units behind us. Cleared out. Yeah, this is just here. This is with the Steel Infernos DLC ZZ. And so we're Army Group North going up here, and now Finland has just come into the situation. So that's what it is. And yes, yeah, the map, of course, is all here, but we just have this sort of limits on our area of operation. Okay, well, it does look like we were somewhat effective in keeping some of these units from being able to retreat up out to the north. So that is good. Well, let's keep moving these other units up. We'll think about that for a moment. We want to move north, or they can move to there. Oh, I didn't mean to move I keep moving the HQ and not meaning to. Um, Sure would. Slowed down heavily by being right next to the enemy, which it should be. Deliberate attack. Okay, that unit is exhausted out completely, but we've created something of a pocket here. I mean, there's still a little bit of supply there, but it's cutting off. Hopefully retreat from there. Okay, well, I think we will push up. Get this rail junction, and I guess we'll move back west a little ways. Now we're going to look at the rail mode here. So, yes, okay, so then I am concerned about this for supply use, or supply getting up 2 units. All right, well, seems to be fair. Yeah. That one rail. Okay. We're gonna get him to get these rails here. I know we still haven't gotten. Well, let's move to there. Move the HQ on top of that. I think it'll be able to defend those two together, because we want to again secure all these rails as early and as quickly as possible. Let's first attack a hasty attack there. And we're going to do a deliberate attack here. Oh, okay. We're going to wait till the infantry comes up. I don't need to push super hard. We will do that. Okay, so we pushed. Well, I'm gonna go with no Soviet naval landing, so we're abandoning some of the coast here. Yeah, I'm going to let supplies and everything catch up to us. Right, well. Hopefully that will take care of these other rails to our rear here, because we do have railings up this way. So let me just come to here. Fix those rails. There we go. Get those rails done up fairly well here. Okay, move up to security forces. Population is evacuating. Why would the population evacuate? Really, why would it evacuate? I mean, these are the Baltic states. They would be like, yay, the Germans are here. Now, other parts of Russia, no, that's not the attitude most people took, but hopefully they won't be able to get out of this pocket here. We will come and crush it soon. All right. Do we have AI? Allow AI? Yes. Okay. And end the turn here. Soviets get their turn. They're pushing in on us. Yeah, I was worried a little bit about getting overstretched out. We'll see how we're doing there. Hello, TN Longfellow. How you doing? Most weren't happy with the Germans' arrival. Some, of course, were just one yoke for another yoke, though. Well, I would say, and this is what I get from my reading, watching documentaries. The people of the Baltic states were generally happy that the Germans arrived. Okay? Please note my words very carefully. Arrived. And push the Soviets out. There had been huge numbers, in the tens of thousands, if not into the hundreds of thousands, of particularly young men that had once the Soviet Union occupies the Baltic states, that had been rounded up and moved east into camps again, where gulags, I guess, to use the particular term, maybe put into gulags. when the Germans arrived, it does seem that most people were relieved. And when they initially came in. Now, as the war goes on, as the German occupation goes on, I'm talking about the Baltic states, not about other parts of the Soviet Union. You get a little more mixed results down in Ukraine, but Ukraine with the Holodomor, they absolutely hate the Soviets down there. And in, Belarus or whatever, bit more pro Soviet. But my understanding is the Baltic states, again, as German occupation goes along, they start making a lot of enemies, and it really divides the people of the Baltic states. But mostly when they're coming in, the Baltic states are pretty friendly towards the Germans. With an anvil on your chest, the boulder might not look so bad. Yeah, and God, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying from my understanding of history, and it's again, this is my understanding. Not the to me, Nazis and communists, they're both evil. And like you say, it just is it the frying pan or the fire kind of thing. The Russian people, there was a mixed result when the Germans show up initially, because there's a lot of people that don't like the Bolsheviks. But very quickly, particularly with you were talking Russian peoples, they quickly come to hate the Germans overall. They're being brutalized by the Germans. The Baltic states is a bit different. That's, again, my understanding. Ukraine, it's also another mix of some that love and some that like the Germans, others that hate the Germans. So it's a bit more mixed because the Holodomor it just happened, a few minutes before Germany shows up, if you will. I mean, obviously it was a few years, but those left alive were the ones left alive. So, like I say, it's a bit of a mix. Okay, well, here it looks like we can close this down. No, we got to do the air turn. Keep forgetting to do the air turn. Yes, execute air operations. Oh, yeah, it turns out to be brutally bad for everybody. In the East, both sides, and when the Soviets come back in, they're they're deliberate attack. They're not friendly to the areas that you have to take into account that a lot of what the Germans were doing wasn't widespread or talked about much. Russians had no qualms about putting people into camps for re-education and change their ways. So sadly, the people of the Baltic states, while many harbored long dislikes of the Germans, the hate the Russians enough really kind of welcomed them in. They were seen as liberators in many ways. Sadly, yeah, absolutely. And this is what I'm talking about. And again, Longfellow, listen to my words carefully when I speak, because I try to be precise. It's the welcoming state, the early stages. It's like you say that they were sort of welcomed as liberators, but as time goes on, the brutal reality of the situation becomes more clear. Now, to my knowledge, I mean, yes, they were, again, for certain peoples, very badly treated. And I don't want to go into detail here with that, but generally speaking, the peoples of the Baltic states were treated a bit better than others. And again, I say generally because I know it's in many cases it's not true. So I mean, World War II was brutal on everybody who was involved in it, all over the globe. And yes, to some degree, we trivialize it in our games. I totally acknowledge that. Because even when we're talking about like the clean war of, North Africa, and many of the cases and many of the battles were happening not where there were civilians, but it's still brutalizing the soldiers that on just about all of the sides in North Africa. None of them wanted to be there. They weren't like, I mean, there were a few, professional soldiers that wanted to have a war and fight, but most, were, national servicemen doing their duties for their nation. They didn't, the British soldiers didn't want to be there. I mean, they didn't want to have a war. I mean, they wanted to defeat the enemy, but they didn't want the war. The German soldiers that were there, well, yeah, some of them, they want revenge for World War I, but still they're stuck out in the desert. And so it's brutally. Thousands of Baltic, yeah, elsewhere, not sure if more were after the war or before. Yeah, I don't know the numbers. I don't know that we have good numbers, but when the Soviets occupied the Baltic states, like I say, particularly military-aged young men, tens of thousands, at least tens of thousands, if not more, because I don't have the numbers in front of me, um, were shipped east to various camps, construction projects, whatever. Obviously, certain groups were and certain individuals were selected out for special treatment and not good special treatment. Yeah, there were also, the known communists and whatnot in the region that probably got good treatment, but the rest weren't. So they were, And then when the Germans are losing on the East Front, many, refugee themselves out to the West, but many more won't or can't or whatever. Because things sometimes when the front collapses, it's collapsing so fast that the civilians can't get out of the way. And of course, you have the whole Kurland Peninsula here that becomes a long pocket fought. That then, once the Soviets are reoccupying, again, after brutal German occupation. So it's not fun. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right, Claude. So yeah, it's interesting. We have to keep that in mind. Okay, we're again pushing east here to keep. Oh, found a unit up there. Good. Depot is captured, and we can make a successful attack. Okay, well. That one first. And let's see, do we have enough? No, not enough for delivery attack, but we'll do another character attack. Right, what I'm trying to do here is come up and again sort of get the Oh, look at they're like 124 points at defender, and we are something like 10 points in the attack here. Hello, Killmost. Well, let's hope it's a long. Any next major war is a long, long way off. I know there are conflicts. We can call them wars going on now. But yeah, let's hope we don't see another. Oh, I wanted to click off of that. I didn't want that down here. Okay, we do want to repair some railway. Wait, yes, into the zone there so we can repair that and repair that. Hopefully get all of that repaired. Yep, too many games to play. That's very true. Okay, let's get this division moving up here. The security divisions. Keep them. See much of our there's cores below that or spread out around there. And select that, select that. What I'm trying to do is keep a screen here that they're not going to be able to push back into us on or push north. And I'm trying to increase the buffer zone so we don't see a relief force pushing back into it. And I'm also trying to give my motorized forces a bit of a break so that they can regain some of their strength. Let's hope we all live long enough to play all the yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. I want to live long enough to play all my games and all the sub scenarios and all of the mods for those games and not just all the games that I own now, but all the games I'm going to own. And so yeah, I can keep going for a long time. I can store up a lot of games to need to play. Well, no, you got to stay alive to play all your games. So sorry, you got to stay around to stay alive to play your games. So that's the new rule here. Well, I think on that rule, I've gone overtime, but fortunately there was no one coming up after me, so that's yeah. We've got plenty of games here, Longfellow. Yeah, so the new rule: got to stay alive long enough to play all your games, and you can get more games as you go along. So I want to thank everybody here for hanging out with me. Really, I had fun. I hope this re-sparks your interest in um, Gary Grigsby's War in the East too. I do love the game. It just, like I say, I don't play it enough. Um, and so I want to thank you. I will be back next week playing a different game. I don't remember which one. Don't need to look it up now. So thank you all. So thanks, gentlemen.